Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Virtual Wargaming Live Battle Report. Today I have a 990 point game of Warhammer Fantasy 6th edition using the breakthrough scenario between dwarfs and my custom designed Amazon faction. I am sure every single one of you who plays this game and heard 990 points is completely baffled as to why I am doing that and why I'm not just doing 1,000 points. The answer is very simple. For the breakthrough scenario, the attacker, which is the Amazons, needs to score have exactly 1/3 of their points cost of units in the enemy deployment zone. 1,000 points would mean I need 333. That's an awkward number. 990 just means 330. It's a nice round, very easy to calculate number. So that is what I decided to go with. Also, I'm exploring doing weird different numbers for my points values, rather than just sticking to my usual multiples of 250, outside of warbands where I do whatever I feel like. So I'm just, I'm testing it out. We'll see how it goes. So let us jump into the terrain before I'll cover the terrain, then I'll cover the armies, because we have some new things going on here. So those of you who tuned in yesterday may be aware of how the ruins works, but for those who missed it, real quick, the ruins is, because this is a virtual tabletop, I do not have to worry about the fact that models would get stuck on the walls and stuff. So you can move through the ruins. They're just difficult terrain, and they count as very hard cover. So it is a -2 for shooting into them, but they also count as difficult or light cover shooting out of them. So -1 to units that are occupying the ruins shooting out. It also will completely block line of sight to the other side of it. So these units can't see these guys. But if either one gets in there, then yes, they can. In addition to that, we have a river, which is, I think, the first river that has been seen in my live battle reports, at least. And this river is completely impassable, except at the ford and the bridge. I'm really generous with the ford and what I let cross here, because it's not super wide, but I'll let a 4 wide unit cross, even if models hang over a little bit on the side. The bridge I'm a little bit more strict on, but that's because it's bigger, and in this instance we have some obstacles here blocking the way anyway, so you kind of have to go straight on to the bridge regardless. Other than that, some hills, some forests, you all know how those work, and the shrubs, I should say. The shrubs, they just provide light cover. They don't have any difficult terrain or anything. You can push through them just fine. All they do is they make it harder to shoot at the enemy in there. I think the first time I put these in was the first Amazons battle report, actually, between Dark Elves and Amazons, where I was showing them off. Battle of Elendril's Landing, I think that was called. So let's go ahead and cover our armies. So starting with the dwarfs, we have a Thane leading the army. He's wearing Gromrel armor, carrying a shield. What a surprise. He has a Rune of Resistance and the Master Rune of Swiftness. What that does is the Rune of Resistance lets him reroll any of his failed armor saves. So he's going to be having a 2+ armor save, which he can reroll. And the Master Rune of Swiftness means that he will always strike first. For dwarfs, he has an initiative of 3. A regular guy hits about as quickly as he does. So this is a big deal for just getting a little bit of early damage in during a fight. In addition to him, we have 10 crossbowmen up here with shields, 10 crossbowmen over here without shields, 15 warriors with heavy armor, shields, and they have full command, which isn't represented here. So let me go ahead and quickly add that. And then musician, yep, there we go. We have a unit then of Ironbreakers, who also have full command, which I forgot to add. My apologies again. That is a second banner bearer. That is not correct. We have a musician. And the reason that we're adding so many command groups not here where we normally don't is, 1, I needed to squeeze them into an awkward points value, and 2, banners don't give any victory points in this instance, so bringing them is useful. Next up we have a cannon. Look at this goofy boy. I could not have made this model before they added kit bashing, so big thank you to HeroForge for adding kit bashing. It's really cool. And then finally, over here we have some cavalry. This is a Dogs of War unit of heavy cavalry. Much like with the previous game where I had the Hordes of Chaos, I'm just experimenting putting Dogs of War into things and taking up like stuff that you don't have access to normally. Dwarves never have cavalry, they're always really slow. What if we slap 5 horses into their army and see what happens? For the Amazons, we are looking at a mistress riding a cold one. She has light armor and a shield, and she has equipped the elixir of life. My apologies for not being able to speak, which gives her regeneration. And then she has a Claw of the Old Ones, which is a +1 strength bonus, armor piercing, magical attacks, one-handed weapon. That sounds really powerful, which is why it is 8 points, which is double what a great weapon would cost on a hero like this. She is joined by 10 Eagle Warriors up here, equipped with Sun Staffs. Sun Staffs are 7 points. They goodness, let me think for a second. They're basically a handgun that you can fire on the move. But unlike the Dwarf Thunderers, they don't have that plus to hit for being in close range. So they're very powerful, but they're also very expensive. Like I said, 7 points per model. It's only 6 points per Eagle Warrior. So this is making them 13-point models. They also have shields. Again, I had like 10 points to spare. May as well. And then we have 2 units of Amazon Warriors. One with a banner. One without a banner. Both of them are 20 models strong. We have Piranha Warriors. These are pictured with shields, but they don't have shields. They just have javelins and hand weapons. I didn't want to mess around with my existing models, so I just kept them how they are. We also have a unit over here of 20 Eagle Warriors, and they have a commander and a standard bearer, and they are also carrying shields, but again, no sun staffs in this instance, just spears, hand weapons, shields. And then finally, we have the Cold One Riders. They are equipped with spears, they have light armor, they have a champion, and they have a standard bearer. These also obviously Cold Ones, they have Cause Fear and they have Stupidity, so this is going to be quite the adventure getting them across the battlefield. And then finally we have up here 2 units of Jungle Stalkers. These have bows, they skirmish, and the bows are poisoned, so fingers crossed we can get around that Dwarf T4 nightmare, but probably not through their armor all that easily. And with that all out of the way, we're going to get started. The Dwarfs rolled and got the choice of first turn, and they gave it to the Amazons, simply because I feel like as the Dwarf player, you want that last turn to be able to secure the deployment zone and make sure or like push Amazons out, or just generally like you don't want to let the Amazons move in on you as the final turn when you can't do anything about it. So we're going to be starting off with some Amazons, and I'm going to start off right over here, and we're just going to power our Eagle Warriors 10 inches forward. So I did pre-measure this a little bit, and so I'm just going to let them go over this tiny little bit of obstacle simply because I was trying to position them so that they wouldn't. I messed up. Whatever, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. And then we're going to move the Amazon Warriors forward 3 inches. And then we're going to rotate them to here. We're going to wheel them. That was 2.5. Hang on, I can just hit the wheel button again. Yep. 2.5, so they've gone 5 point... I took them 8 inches forward, didn't I? Why did I do that? What army was I thinking of? What did I play yesterday? Skaven, maybe? That sounds likely. 8 inches forward. They go 8 inches forward. They are just regular humans. 3 plus 2.5, that's 5.5, so 2.5 more. So yep, we're going to just scoot through, avoid that ruin a little bit. All right, Cold Ones, let's make that leadership test. 8. That is a pass, hooray. And we're going to actually go ahead and wheel them around to get around the ruin quickly. And these units 6, wheel them 1.3. They have 14 inches of movement, so we're going to like speed past. Yep, that misses. Go to like 12-ish, not quite, and then wheel them again. Oh my goodness. And I have my finger on the screen so that I can actually tell where they're meant to go. Amazon Warriors also going to march up 8. Piranha Warriors going to book at 8 into here. We're actually going to stop just short because obviously I don't want to get seen and shot. You know what? Actually, no. I'm not going to do that. We're going in because, quite frankly, they are the lowest priority targets, so they are totally fine to do that. And then we have our Eagle Warriors, who they're just going to move like 2 inches forward, 2.5 inches forward, so they can get shots on the crossbowmen. Our Jungle Stalkers are also going to move 4 inches over here, 4 inches this way. And we're just trying to get some shots into the crossbowmen with them. So that is the end of the movement phase. Let's go ahead and do some shooting. We're going to start with these Amazon Warriors. And they are barely all in range. Yep, okay, so the Eagle Warriors are elites. So they have weapon skill and ballistic skill 4. So they would hit on 3s. They've moved, so that becomes 4s. They're shooting at long range, that's 5s. So strength 4 attacks. And these dwarfs have shields, so they get a... No, they still get a 7-up save because it's strength 6 and armor piercing. But we didn't roll any wounds, so it's totally fine. Next up, the Jungle Stalkers, all of these guys. All in close range. I just want to double check. Yep, all can see. And I'm going to have to quickly do a check for which of these ones can see. And the answer is literally only one of them, actually. So I'm just going to roll all 6 Amazons together. So 6 attacks. They will hit on... It's also going to hit on 5s, and we're looking for 6s to auto wound because poison. Oh, 2 auto wounds, nice. So this is just going to be 2 5-up saves. Go. Wow, okay, just like nothing but 6s today. Cool. That's unexpected, I'll say. Alright, so let's then hop over to the dwarf turn. So I could just stand here and passively wait for the enemy to advance. That is boring. I'm not going to do that. I am going to... okay, let's think about this real quick. We have 2 units piling up this way. 1 unit, 2 units going to sweep around this way. Do I want to deploy the knights yet? Alright, let's think about what we're going to actually do. We're definitely going to move these guys forward 6 inches. We want as much space forward so that we can consume them as possible. And, oh, actually, hang on. They went 12 inches forward. Yeah, with the 14-inch shots, they're definitely going to make it. Okay, the Iron Breakers. Okay, so Amazon's wheel, Amazon's push up. They're not going to make it this next turn. These guys also have to wheel and like get around. I think what we're going to do... we're going to actually wheel the Iron Breakers this way. I'm fully expecting them to misbehave. Yep, that's exactly what I expected to happen. 1.4, and then they can go like 4-ish forward. And then I'm going to wheel them a little further this way. Perfect. Okay, so that's just a nice, slightly closer. And these guys, okay, so they have, right now, they have line of sight onto the bridge. Let's be honest here, they don't want to charge onto the bridge. I think what I want to do is I'm going to actually bring them forward a bit. And this is actually like possibility controlling. What? What? Okay, I don't know why they behaved that way, but whatever, they're here now. And then this is as far as we're going to move them. We're basically just sort of trying to shepherd the Amazon warriors here, not to try and go up this way and push through here, but rather to try and push this way. And basically the idea is if they wheel and turn, we can get the knights to swing in next to them and threaten a charge into their rear or their flank. And then they kind of have to like stall out. But if they just go this way, they get an advance still. Actually, I'm gonna do that. So now there's a non-zero chance that we can just like, if they push forward, we can just charge straight in. And I appreciate speaking about this sort of thing as if I am only one side is a little silly, but them's the breaks. And I have just realized I have forgotten an important setup detail. Yeah, I'm gonna let you actually sit through it. So, because I've never really explained how this works. So I have in here somewhere these 3 tokens, and this is the cannon tokens. We need these because, okay, so these guys were in front of them, moved 6 inches forward. We're trying to guess 10 inches behind these Amazon warriors because that's going to be our target. So this is about, from here to here, 6. Like 2 inches behind them. 12? 12 inches, I'm going to guess. Okay, so now that he is impersonated, we set guess range, 12 inches. And then we fire the cannon. And unfortunately, the really cool thing I wanted to show you didn't work because he misfired this turn. But next turn, you'll get to see the cannon macro go off for the first time. And it's going to be really cool when it does. Alright, so these dwarfs, they're going to fire at... the cold ones have a decent armor save. I think we want to fire at the Amazon warriors behind because they don't. So it's going to be 10 shots. That'll hit on 4s because we're normally hitting on 3s. They'll wound on 3s. And these Amazon warriors only have shields, so they don't get any armor save. And let me stop impersonating my cannon. Alright, so these guys are dead. Well, this one's dead, I should say. And then over here, I think we're not going to try and risk... Okay, the question that looms. Do I think I have line of sight to these ones? Actually, I don't think I do. I'm going to just sort of like... Yeah, no, we don't have line of sight. Okay, so we're going to try and declare shots at the Eagle Warriors. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I reckon we can stretch that to 9. 9 shots that are in range. We're going at long range, so that's going to be 4s to hit, 3s to wound. Eagle Warriors also only have shields, so 7s. Oh goodness. Alright, so that's a whole rank of Eagle Warriors. That's really bad for the Amazons. And that is the end of the turn. So we're going to make a panic check, or end of the shooting phase, I should say. Panic check, that passes. Alright, so then. And I did try and query with people who know this game better than I do, and I didn't get any answers, so I'm going to have to make up a solution. Whether or not a unit counts as its current points value when it's in the area, or like its scoring points value. And I'm going to go with scoring. So a unit that is more than half of its unit starting strength counts as its full points value. Units that are half strength only count as half their points value. And fingers crossed for the Amazons that they're going to get in. So let's get to the Amazon turn. Oh, sorry, let me mark also. End of dwarf turn 1. I also need to real quick check, because I am a fool, how many turns this goes for. I'm fairly certain it goes for the full 6. But yes, game lasts 6 turns. Fantastic. Alright, so now we have to make a stupidity check, because I'd like to charge these guys, but I don't know if they will succeed. They are fine. The dwarfs have to make a fear check for being charged. They are also fine. So we are in, and then we maximize like so. Fantastic. These girls are going to, hang on. They're definitely 8 inches away from the dwarfs, right? Yeah, they're good. Okay. These girls are going to march up about 5 inches, and I'm going to wheel them. I'd say ever so slightly, but this is much more than ever so slightly. Just going to wheel them the full amount around so that we can just sort of get around this fight and get over there. And I have to hope and pray that these girls don't lose and die. Because if they lose and flee and we just have dwarfs in the flank, but what's done is done. So we're going to push these girls 4 inches forward. And yeah, I'm just going to have to like brace for the charge, which isn't going to come because why would it in this instance? And these girls are going to go forward to here, each 2.5. And then that's unit 5, wheel it out, 2.4 more. That's 5 moved so far, 3 extra inches. Makes 8. Alright. And finally, 4 inches to get out of the jungle and out of line of sight. Or 4 inches out of the forest, I should say. And then I'm going to just sort of like trail 2 jungle stalkers behind so that they can actually all shoot. These guys are just going to stand here. I'm really confident in their ability to do damage now that they're not moving. So now we're on to the shooting phase. Let us start off with these Eagle Warriors. They have 10 shots. They'll hit on 4s this turn. They'll wound on 4s. The dwarfs will save on 7s. Go. And this time, things have gone a little bit better for the Amazons. And then I'm going to fire with both of these units. They're all going into the same targets, so we're just going to roll all of them together. 10 shots. Hit on 4s because they moved. Wound on... No. I have to roll these separately. Hit on 4s. Go. 6 successes, 2 auto wound. Okay, so 4 attacks, still wound on 5s. Go. 1 extra success. 3 that save on 5s. Go. 2 more dead dwarfs. And that means that we have a panic check for these guys. And that is the extent of our shooting. So let's go ahead and roll that. Oh, no, I lied. Sorry, there's these guys I need to check for. And yep, I have 1, 2, 3 in range. So thrown weapons, -1s to hit. I don't think these are poisoned. I'm going to double check real quick. No, poison is an upgrade you can buy for them, and I chose not to because this is more of a harassing force than anything else. So 3 attacks, they would hit on 4s, they hit on 5s because of the terrain, and then they save on 3s. Go. Nothing. Expected. Alright, so the Dwarf Thane, he will always strike first. Do we have any challenges we want to issue? I'm going to have the Mistress challenge, issue a challenge, and... is she going to issue a challenge, actually? Because here's the thing, he could sacrifice the Dwarf Warrior into it, or the champion into it. And that would be really bad. And she's also... She is quite powerful, actually. Though I think I've recorded her stats incorrectly, so let me fix those real quick. But she still hits relatively hard. No, I don't think there's going to be challenges on either sides. Okay, so starting off with the Dwarf Thane. He gets to make 3 attacks. They will all hit on... There's going into this unit, so it's going to hit on 3s. It's going to wound on 3s. And they're going to save on... They have light armor, they have shields. It's normally 3s. They're going to save on 4s because he is strength 4. 1 dead Cold One Rider. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks back. Because remember, to be this girl who died, not this one, but we're just pulling her in. So 1, 2, 4 attacks. And then with the Mistress. I'm going to do the Mistress first. This is going to be into the regular dwarfs. So she has 3 attacks. She hits on 3s. She'll wound on 3s because she is strength 5 from the armor piercing. These guys are heavy armor shield hand weapon, so 3 up save normally. Becomes a 4 up, becomes a 5 up from her strength, becomes a 6 up from armor piercing. So let's go. Nothing. Damn, unfortunate. 4 attacks from our, I'd say lovely, but I'm not sure if lovely is the correct word. From our Cold One Riders, I'll just leave it at that. 4s to wound, 4s to save, go. Nothing. Expected outcome at that point. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Cold Ones attacking. Hit on 4s, wound on 4s, save on 4s, go. Nothing. That is devastating. Wow, okay. I should have seen it coming, honestly, but like, not fighting isn't really much of an option. So let me go ahead and just pull these guys out real quick, and then loop back to here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, banner, unbanner. So 3, 16 guys versus 10, basically. So that's a 4, that's a 5. Okay, so they are testing on a 5, -5. They need like a 3 up for this to work. A 9, so they're fleeing. They go 3d6 inches. The dwarfs pursue 2d6. Because they are going to pursue, obviously. So these golems go 14 inches back. Dwarfs go forward 6. And yeah, unfortunately for me, that is straight into, well, unfortunately for our Amazons, I should say. I am both sides. So I shouldn't be playing favorites. And yet I always do. Honestly, even in my regular battle reports, like going like kind of hoping for a particular outcome. I don't like rig it or anything, but like I'm like always really hopeful that the side that I like more is going to win today. Which is very unprofessional, I am aware, but also I don't care. It's my game. Well, it's my battle channel. I can do what I want. Oh, actually, these guys get a leadership test. Oh, never mind, actually. Hang on, this changes a lot. So I'm going to have to move these girls back to here so I can get these dwarves. Alright, so I'm going to move him back over here. Him back to here. I apologize, I didn't think about this at all. But because of the failed panic, because they would take a panic check, they failed it, they go 6 inches this way. These girls go 14 inches this way. They are repositioned, like running away. Wheel it, slap it into here. And then these guys, also they are dwarfs, so they only go 5 inches rather than 6. So they end up here. And then that is the end of the Amazon turn, so we're now on to the dwarf turn again. Oof, what a disaster that turned out to be. Okay, so we are going to start off. Are there any charges I want to declare? I think the answer is no. I think I want to just keep pushing these dwarf warriors forward. So the Iron Breakers are going to wheel around, march right up to this edge, and they're just going to kind of say, nah, you can't pass through here. And then we'll wheel them back a bit to face the Amazon warriors if they become a problem. But like right now, they're not really a problem. The Knights, Dogs of War Knights, are going to move back 3 inches. No, they can move back 1.5, like 1.2 inches. Because this is going to consume... No, wait, sorry, I'm mistaken. They can move back 3 inches, yeah. Because they consume a quarter of their movement to turn around, move back, and then a quarter of their movement to face back the same way. So that's half their movement gone, so they have 3.5 inches of movement available. And then the Dwarf Thane and his warriors, we're just going to push forward, is what we're going to do, honestly. Push, 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 push. And that is the end of the movement phase for them. So these guys, again, they cannot see these Amazon warriors yet. You might ask why I put them up on a hill where they can't see anything, and the answer is because it is a hill, and I intentionally always design my battlefields, or I try to, so that hills often have detrimental side effects. It's like, yeah, sure, you get the high ground, you can see over your units, but there's this big blind spot. Deal with it, nerd. So we're going to fire the Dwarf Crossbowmen at the Eagle Warriors. They're at long range, they have light cover, so this is going to be only hitting on 5s, but it will wound on 4s, and they will save on 7s. Go. One more dead Eagle Warrior. Remember, this unit still getting in with like 11 people left is still huge for the Amazons. This Cold One unit needs to... will be fine if they just don't... what's it called again? If they don't lose 2 more characters, they'll still be able to score a lot of points. Unfortunately, the Mistress doesn't really count for scoring points, so it's actually totally fine if she dies in a really like messed up way. And then finally we have the crossbowman up here. Oh, feck, I forgot my cannon. That's okay, I haven't gained any information from this. We're going to fire it at that one, and we are going to be firing it... Okay, so I guessed 12 before, and then they moved, and then they moved. I'm going to set the guess range at like 12 again, and we're just going to gauge with it. So now we're going to fire the cannon. And I double-clicked, unfortunately. That's really obnoxious. Where is my cannonballs? Oh, I see what's going wrong. Whoops. I am setting him up incorrectly is what's happening. Okay, so we're going to set him up correctly now. And then I am going to actually fire him again. And this time, he's going to go the right way. Alright, so this is where I guessed. This is how far it flies before it bounces, and this is where it lands. Honestly, if I actually did it correctly with the first numbers, which I'm now going to do, which would be like this, then it would actually hit a full rank. So we're going to count that. 4, 2, go. Alright. So that just took another rank off the back. Or rather, it went straight through a line, killed 4, but that translates into a rank off the back. And then we're going to delete all of these boys up here. And I am going to feel like a complete fool for forgetting that I needed to do it that way. In my defense, it has been many a moon since I have fired a cannon, and I think he is not behaving the way he's meant to normally. But we will investigate that after the game. Okay, so Amazon turn. We have a rally and we have a rally. Let's see, we're going to start with the cold ones. Once again, stop impersonating the cannon. Cold ones rally, Amazon warriors rally. Alright, so cold ones kind of just have to face the oncoming dwarfs and hope. The Amazon warriors, keeping in mind this is end of dwarf turn 2. So we're not that deep into the game. I think what we're going to do is we're actually just going to wheel the Amazon warriors around. And we're just basically going to say, nah, you don't get this charge if you want it. With this reform, is my goal. Or they can get the charge, obviously, but they better make it count. And to that purpose, I'm also going to... Okay, let's be real here. They can absolutely... So I'm going to move up to here. 4 inches. Yeah, we're just trying to block them in a bit and get as little potential damage as possible. These girls are going to keep marching up 8 inches across the river. These girls are going to go forward 8 inches as well. Not quite, they're going to go forward 6.4 and then they're going to wheel a little bit. They don't actually need to go around this, they could just try and go through it, but again, I don't want to give the flank to the knights. I would love to just catch the knights and kill them. That would be the ideal outcome here. Next up we have jungle stalkers. They're going to move 4 inches forward this way. And these ones are going to move 4 inches this way. And we're kind of just counting on the dwarf cannon not thinking they're a worthwhile target, which I don't think they're going to be. Maybe they will be, actually, we'll see. Okay, so back into the game. This is all the movement. Shooting. Eagle warriors. If we kill a single dwarf warrior out of this unit, that costs them a rank. I'm gonna shoot with the jungle stalkers first. We're gonna shoot all of them at these crossbowmen, and we're trying to look to cause panic in them. So I'm actually gonna roll this 5 girls at a time. We're gonna do the bottom 5 first. So you're gonna hit on 4s. They get 1 hit. Alright. It's not gonna be enough. But it wounds and it saves. And then the other 5 are going to attack. 5 attacks, hit on 4s, go. Oh, all of them succeed and 3 of them can wound. So we're gonna go ahead and 5s to wound, go. And then 4 armor saves. Oof, okay, so 4 dead dwarfs. That is huge. And then we're going to dump the eagle warriors into the dwarf warriors. No, we're going to dump the javelins in first. So, they're all in range. So that's 10 javelin attacks. 10 javelin attacks, hit on 5s, wound on 5s, save on heavy armor and shields 4s. They're predicted. And then 10 shots, hit on 3s now, wound on 4s, saving on 4s, 5s, 6s. Go. Oof, an entire rank off the back. That's huge. So let's do some panic checks. First we have the crossbowmen. They pass. Goodness. Alright, I'm going to be back. I need some water. Alright, I am back and I am slightly more hydrated. Let's continue. So the dwarf warriors have their panic check as well. And they have, I think, failed maybe. Let me double check this. Yes, that thing is only at leadership 9. So they are going 2d6 minus 1 inches away, 4 inches away. They're making absolutely no progress. And that's a real problem for this unit. Or at least it would be, if not for the fact that they are dwarfs and they will almost certainly rally next turn. So, the dwarf turn. Okay, I think at this point in time... Okay, so first off I need to make my rallies. Yep, they're fine. And so they're just going to reform back to facing this way. Sorry, I'm just thinking about this. So, these Piranha Warriors are definitely on their flank. The Amazon Warriors aren't on their flank. Actually, are they on the flank? Let me find out. Oh yeah, they're on the flank. So really, I think at this point these dwarfs are kind of just hung out to dry, and we need to write off our losses on that front. Which means the Iron Breakers are then going to want to turn and move 2.25 inches this way. And we're basically trying to get them out to here to capture an enemy. The Knights. What do I do with the Knights? I think at this point in time, we're gonna pull, if we pull them back again, we're probably denying 1 charge. Yeah, I'm gonna pull them back one more time, 3.5 inches. And then next turn we probably have to commit to the charge after they've been thinned out a bit. And hopefully they're like killable. Okay, so the cannon. I'm gonna aim him correctly actually. I'm going to just quickly, I'm not gonna like pay attention to the measure. Make sure that line looks correct. And if the line is wrong, then like I will know. And yeah, I pulled that down like over 50, so I'm not gaining any information from it. Like, oh wow, I know what the length of the board is. I'm gonna guess his set his guess range at, he needed 16 inches of extra flight to get there last time. We're wanting 18 inches, 19 inches. Let's try 19 inches. And fires a cannon. Oh, that's painful. Okay, so 2 get hit here. I'm going to say, I'm going to roll a dice and find out if one gets hit there. Nah, okay, so just 2 here. So I'm just going to roll 2 dice. 1, 2. 2 more dead Amazons. You know, that's something. That's another rank broken. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not displeased about it either. I have 2 crossbowmen here. Realistically, slash roll 15 divided by 4. We need to kill 2 more Amazon warriors. That's our best bet, I think, because if we can get this unit to flee, this fight is less. I mean, it's good. It's just less. It's still good. It's just less good. So we're gonna try that. So 2 attacks. Oh, sorry. Let me measure my distances. They're still 15 inches away, so it's gonna be 2 attacks. Hit on 4s, wound on 3s, save on 7s. Go. Both of them missed. Damn. And then over here, point blank now, so we're hitting on 3s. 10 shots, hit on 3s, wound on 3s, save on 7s, go. Oof, that's a rank. And a bit. Dead. And that's also a panic check for them, which they have failed, so they're going 5 inches away. And they're going directly away from the cause of panic, so it's going to be there. I'm not going to rotate them until after the rally test for them. Okay, so that is end of turn 3 for the dwarfs. And remember, it does not matter how many dwarfs die. If the Amazons don't get enough models into this area, they still lose. This is like a really important thing to keep in mind. So let's go charges. Charge, charge, charge. I want that overrun to just push us this way. They have to make a fear check. They aren't outnumbered and it doesn't matter. Yeah, they're just gonna stand. Like, if they flee, a 14-inch... Oh, stupidity check too. Yep, they're fine. Alright, so, yeah, like that, they weren't getting away from that. Hang on. These girls would go in like this. These girls go up like this. These girls would go in like this. They would form ranks 4 wide. And then we rotate them. Whoops, wrong button there. We wheel them around, slap them in there. What an absolutely devastating move. Jungle Stalkers are going up to here, because we do want these Jungle Stalkers in as well if we can get them in. These guys I forgot to rally check, so I'm going to rally check them now. They have failed, so they're going to keep going 4 inches. They cannot, so can't really go towards this one, so you're going to have to like go around this. It's actually going to go like 4 inches this way. And then I'm going to wheel them around and just sort of get them facing the way they're going. And finally, the Eagle Warriors are going to emerge from here. Move up 4 inches, and then they're going to wheel quite dramatically around like this, and then 2 more inches forward. And I think, unfortunately for the Knights, they're going to be in a spot of bother, and I think the crossbowmen are as well, because I'm fairly certain, yep, they don't see them anymore. So that is unfortunate for those guys. Alright, shooting phase. We're going to start off with our Eagle Warriors. They're going to shoot at the crossbowmen. 10 attacks, hit on 4s, wound on 4s, save on 7s. Go. Alright, dead crossbowmen. Finally. Get out of here, guys. They died within range of that. Maybe? I'm going to have to check that. And then all of these are shooting at the cannon. So I'm going to take 10 shots that hit on 4s. 4 successes, 1 is automatically poisoning. Okay, so I think it's 1 to 2 to hit the crew. Alright, I'm going to go double check this real quick. Because I would hate to do something incorrectly. And I will be back in a moment. Alright, and I am back, and I have confirmed that yes, it is in fact a 5 or 6 to hit the crew members. So 1 crew member is hit. Is he wounded? He is wounded. He does not save. That is 1 dead dwarf crew. And that does actually, I think, negatively impact the... It might negatively impact. I'll have to check real quick the ability of the machine to fire. Okay, no, 1 kill does not constitute a potential loss of use, but it does prompt a panic test. So let's go ahead and make that right now. He passes. Of course he passes. They're always fine. Alright, so now we have this one. The Dwarf Thane... Okay, so let's think about this. He gets to attack first. He could put it into the Cold One Riders. These are the most powerful models. But if he puts it into the Piranha Warriors, he can just chew through 3 of them and score extra combat resolution. And if you can kill 3 of them, he reduces the amount of incoming attacks on the side by 1. Or down to 1. So I'm going to do that. So it's going to be 3 attacks. They hit on 3s. They wound on 3s. They save on 7s. No, 6s. Because they have... No, they didn't have anything, do they? No. Alright, so 2 dead. And then we get to this. So, Amazon Mistress. 3 attacks into the dwarfs. 3 attacks. They hit on 3s. They wound on 3s. They have 3 up armor save. They have 4 up, 5 up, 6 up. Okay, yep. That's how that works. So we have 1 dead dwarf warrior. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attacks from the riders, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Cold One attacks, and these actually have the same profile, so I'm just going to roll them all together. And we scored another wound on the dwarfs. Piranha Warriors and Amazon Warriors all have the same as well. Oh, but it matters, doesn't it? Because it affects the attack back options. Because, like, these 2 guys are dead, but the commander's still alive, and then these 2 are still alive, and these 2 are still alive. So we're going to do 5 attacks from these girls. They hit on 4s, they wound on 5s, they save on 3s. Go. Nothing. 2 attacks. Hit on 4s, wound on 5s, save on 3s. Go. Nothing. Yeah, it's about what I expected. And then 2 attacks. Hit on 3s, wound on 4s, save on... I'm going to just double check my... Piranha Warriors, no armor whatsoever. And yet they still missed. And then 2 attacks into the Amazon Warriors. 2 attacks, hit on 3s, wound on 4s, save on 5s. Nothing. Alright. So with this, there are 10 dwarfs left, and there are 10 fear-causing enemies. They are not outnumbered by fear-causing enemies, but they have lost by 1, 2 for being hit on the flank. They've taken 2 wounds. They're outnumbered, so they lose by 3. No, they lose by 2 because they still have their banner. Wow, they're actually doing pretty good for themselves here. There's a decent chance that they... Yeah, they're fine. They're still in the fight this turn. So that is the end of the Amazon turn. Now we're on to the dwarfs. So the dwarfs are going to, again, do 3 inches. No, it's going to move them the full. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to move them 3 inches up to here. No, we're going to move them 2.25, and we're going to turn them again. Just because I do not want the Piranha Warriors getting into the flank of the Iron Breakers. It will be an absolute disaster if that happens. The crossbowmen have to reform, and they're going to do so right now. It's really unfortunate because they want to stay and fight, obviously. And then these guys, they're just going to have to book it 7 inches forward. Their new mission, I guess, is probably going to be to try and chase these girls off. And again, I will reiterate, if the Amazons don't get in to hit the box in time, they still lose. This isn't nearly as disastrous as it sort of feels like right this second. Dwarf shooting. We're going to fire that cannon, and we're going to fire it right at the Eagle Warriors. Okay, I know that there is about 20 inches off this board edge. I know that there's less than 12 off of this one. I'm going to go ahead and guess my range at 36. And I'm going to fire the cannon. And I misfired. And even if I didn't, I misplaced it, but that's fine. Only unable to fire this turn is pretty good, honestly. It could be significantly worse of an outcome. Alright, and then there is no other shooting, so we just get straight to this fight. Once again, the Dwarf Thane goes first. He's going to put it into the Piranha Warriors. We're fishing for as much damage as we can. 3s, 3s, 7s, go. Nothing this time. Okay. Now we have to go in initiative order. That is going to be 5 for the Mistress, 3, 4 for the Piranha Warriors and the Cold One Riders, 3 for everything else, 2 for our Cold Ones, and 2 for our Dwarfs. So let's go ahead and roll those Piranha Warriors first. So they make 4 attacks, they hit on 4s, they wound on 5s, the Dwarf saves on 3s, go. Nothing. Mistress. 3 attacks, hits on 3s, wounds on 3s, saves on 6s. Is that right? Yes, that's right. Nothing. Wow, okay. 5 attacks from the these girls. They will hit on 4s. They will wound on 5s this time. They have no bonus damage. And then we have 3 Amazon Warriors. 3 Amazon Warriors, hit on 4s, wound on 5s, save on 3s, go. And then finally, because they won last time, the Amazons have the initiative, so they have 5 of the attacks from the Cold Ones. 4s, 4s, and 4s down the line. Still nothing. Wow. So the Dwarfs get to make 4 attacks back to the front, or we're going to do 3 attacks to the front, and then 2 to each side. 4s to hit, 4s to wound. Light armor, shield, Cold One, 3+ armor save. Nothing. Expected outcome, 2 to the side. 3s, 4s, 7s, go. Expected outcome, honestly. 2 attacks. Hits on 3s, wounds on 4s, saves on 5s. Expected outcome. Okay, so this is just pure combat res. We have a rank, we're on the flank. We outnumber, they have a banner. -2 again. 8. This time they are fleeing, so they're going 6 inches, and we are pursuing with everything. Because I want to get caught up to them. So 3d6 inches, 14 inches of overrun on the Cold One Riders. So yeah, they'd actually hit this unit. So they're not going to go all the way, which is actually unfortunate for them. I would have rathered that they go all the way. The pursuit from these girls, 8 inches. Yep, they're going in. And then finally this unit, 4 inches. Alright, so we will get those sorted out in just a second. The joys of having a virtual tabletop where I can actually make this happen. So then we're going to scoot these girls across to maximize. You go back over here. And then these ones are going to, honestly, I'm just going to keep them like this. So I think this is really the most, No, I'm cutting one to add one. And if I cut, yeah, I'm cutting too many. Okay. Yep, so this is a maximized layout. Let me go ahead and cut that out. And that is the end of Dwarf Turn 4, I think. Just scroll up and double check that real quick. Yes, end of Dwarf Turn 4. Alright, so this is rapidly turning into a disaster. We're going to go ahead and we're going to push forward 4 inches. We're trying to get as much material in as we can. These girls are going to have to push forward 4 inches as well. So we're going to wheel them. Oh, sorry, rally check on these girls, my bad. Yep, they rally, they're good. And they are going to face... Honestly, they're going to face directly up. Because they're still giving the knights their forward. And if they can break through, they can just go straight towards that. So we'll move these girls 1.3. So they can go like 2.7 forward. So they're threatening to get in as well. Jungle Stalkers in. Jungle Stalkers in. Okay, realistically at this point in time, the Eagle Warriors can't actually get into the deployment zone. But I kind of just need to move them anyway, so let's go. Push, push, push. And that looks like the end of the movement phase. So we're going to, again, Jungle Stalkers point blank shoot at the cannon. 10 attacks, hit on 4s because they moved. 4 successes. Alright, so I'm going to do 2 checks on the poison. Nothing. 2 checks on the other attacks. 1. Let's see if we wound. We have wounded. He has failed to save. He is dead. And we get another leadership check, which he passes. I mean, next turn they could just charge him, honestly. There's no reason not to. And then this combat. Okay, so there is no enemy hero in here, so it's just going to be the Mistress attacking first. She makes 3 attacks. She hits on 3s. She wounds on 3s. Let me quickly check Ironbreaker's stat line, actually. Oh, she doesn't hit on 3s. She hits on 4s. But she does wound on 3s. And they would have a 2-up save, 3-up save, 4-up save, 5-up save against her. So she has killed 1. Now we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then these, so I'm going to roll these all together. 10 attacks. These will hit on 4s, they will wound on 4s, and they will save on 3s. There's another dead dwarf. And then our last, a Piranha Warrior, she gets to attack. She misses. Okay, so the dwarfs have 2 guys dead, so they have 4 attacks back. They'll hit on 3s. They'll wound on 3s, and they'll save on 4s. They're putting them all into the cold ones. They just want them dead. And we have 1 dead cold one. Alright, I fear that this is going to be a unit that is sent fleeing. And I fear that the Amazons won't have enough material getting in. But we shall see what happens. So, 4 ranks. So 3 ranks. Outnumbers, there's a banner, that's +5. They got a kill. They lost 2, it's +4. Okay. Break tests for both of them. Okay, so actually, those girls survived. The ones that I care the most about. Alright, so we remove these 2. Remove these. So our Cold One Riders are still in. The Piranha Warriors are fleeing. But maybe the Piranha Warriors won't be able to rally in time. Realistically, these ones are probably breaking too. Alright, Dwarf turn 5. I think the cannon has one more turn of firing. Okay, let's think about this real quick. The cannon is dead. The cannon is gone. There is no reason to try and save the cannon here. If I can kill enough of the Eagle Warriors, though, I might still have a chance on that side of the board, and that might still get things for the dwarfs. So we're going to go ahead and adjust the angle of that cannon a little bit. He guessed 36 last time. I'm going to guess 30 this time because his guess put him like way too close. I'm going to guess 27 actually. And then we're going to fire it. And that is a perfect hit. So that is 3 dead Eagle Warriors. And then... Oh, I just skipped straight past my movement phase, didn't I? Lol, Lamau even. The Knights are going to charge. I think that's the only logical thing I can do here with them. If I don't do that, I haven't done anything with them except zone, which is still useful. But like, I don't know. Also, quite frankly, this makes the game a bit more interesting. Like, because if they kill this unit, that's amazing. And if they don't, then they create an opportunity for this unit to like pursue forward and get in, and like interesting things happen. Because like, I don't know, there's nothing fun about a game that's just over on turn 4, and you're like, wow, like that there was no chance, or turn 5 I should say, that wow, there's no chance for them to actually finish it. But this makes things a little bit more interesting. That's the only movement that I have. So crossbows, firing, point blank. 10 attacks, hit on 3s, wound on 3s, save on 7s, go, 3 more dead. Stop impersonating a cannon. Make a leadership test. They have failed. They flee 11 inches. This actually, I'm pretty sure, will take them off the board. Yep, that takes them off the board. Wow. Okay, so that is a devastating loss to the Amazons here, because this is 75 points. This is 100 points. So we only have 250 points in the deployment zone right now. So we need, for the Amazon side, either this unit to win breakthrough push through, or this unit to win breakthrough push through. And nothing else can change the outcome of this game. These girls can't reach, these girls can't reach. And actually, if the dwarfs won't get a last turn if it's like a guaranteed loss for the Amazons already. So combat, let's get started over here. We have, first things first, the Mistress. She hits on 4s, she wounds on 3s. They save on 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s. Nothing from her. Iron Breakers, let me quickly check their initiative. It is also 2. Okay, so we have 4 attacks from the Amazon Noblewomen. No damage there. And then the Dwarfs won last time, so they get to go first. Oh, sorry, let me maximize again. 6 attacks this time. 6 attacks, hit on 3s, wound on 3s, save on 4s, go. Yeah, that's about what I was afraid of happening. And I'll just champion this one real quick. And then we have 2 cold ones remaining. They hit on 4s, they wound on 4s, they save on 3s. Nothing. Okay, so 1, 2, +4, +6. Combat resolution. Yep, they're fleeing. They're going 12 inches. And, okay, so here's the thing to consider. This unit can't make it. This unit can't make it. I'm going to just restrain. So I'm going to do 5. Yep, they successfully restrain. And then over here, Knights charging into, well, heavy cavalry, I should say. Charging into these ones. They have 5 attacks. There's a commander here. They hit on 3s. They wound on 2s. There is no save because they have lances. So that is 2 wounds. And then we have 5 horses. They hit on 4s, they wound on 4s, they get saves on 5s, nothing. Alright, 3 Amazon attacks back. They hit on 4s, they wound on 4s, the Knights save on 2s, nothing. So 10 Knights, 11 Amazons, a rank. That is a drawed combat. Alright. So then, Amazons turn 6. They need to win this fight. That's really all this comes down to. If they win this fight, oh sorry, end of turn, dwarf. Turn 5, okay. So we're going to Jungle Stalker's charge here. Other Jungle Stalkers move up to here. These girls move 4 inches, or so let me scoot these girls back. These girls move in. Rally checks. This unit can't actually rally because it is broken beyond point of rallying, and those girls can't rally, so they go 7 inches further. Roll 3d6 inches, 9 inches further. These girls are going to march 8 inches forward, just in case. But I know it won't matter because I know where the line is. Alright, Amazon Warriors versus Heavy Cavalry. Same initiative, I think. Yep, same initiative. So Heavy Cavalry goes first. The guys have a slight higher chance of hitting, so 4s, 5s. 1 dead Amazon Warrior. That's going to be enough to turn the tide immediately. Actually, I'm not sure about that now that I think about it. It's going to be enough to tie the fight at least. 4s, 4s, 5s, nothing else. The Amazons get 4 attacks back. They hit on 4s, they wound on 4s. The enemy saves on 2s. No wounds inflicted. Rank bonus, even numbers, 1 kill. Yep, that's a draw. And then that is going to be turn 6. So let's very quickly check that deployment zone. And it is 48 inches across, 12 inches up. Yep. Oh, there was a dwarf crew. I don't care. Honestly, is the answer. It doesn't mean anything at all. Let me quickly check my notes on my points costs. Yeah, so this is the Amazon unit that had a standard bearer, so that's 110 points. So we just roll 110 plus 70 plus 70, 250 points. That is going to be a victory for the dwarfs. That was actually way more interesting than I thought it would be. I like this scenario, I think. It really puts the pressure on one side to execute. I feel like it's maybe a little defender-sided, but that could just be dwarfs are really good castling armies. But even then, I don't know, it's like you have to keep enough stuff alive and get across the field all at the same time. And if the enemy just sort of screams you and slows you down enough and redirects you, you can have a hard time. That said, maybe Amazons are just bad. Maybe I don't know how to use them correctly. I definitely never considered using my guerrilla tactics ability, which lets me pull back from fights. But also, I don't think I ever won it in a way that I could make use of it. So yeah, I think that's just a really good game for the dwarfs, honestly. But I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun playing this one, apart from the bit where I almost choked from not having any water. Whoops. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Tomorrow, I should say, I have the final game of getting everyone represented. So we have Beasts of Chaos versus Dogs of War. That is going to be a 350-point warband game, which is going to have the first appearance of a Regiment of Renown on this channel. Yeah, I'm going down the list of things I need to do, and I'm ticking them all off. Also, I don't know, I think Regiments of Renown are really cool in warbands games, since the character leading them is also your hero, and that's just interesting to me. But if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.